The story of Liberia is a truly remarkable one. It stands as a unique chapter in the annals of African history. This nation was founded in the early 19th century. Its founders were not indigenous Africans in the traditional sense. Instead, they were freed Black Americans. These individuals embarked on a journey across the Atlantic Ocean. They sought a new life, far from the shores of America. They aimed to build a society where they could experience true freedom and self-determination, concepts often denied to them in the land of their birth, despite its own declarations of liberty for all its citizens. The idea of establishing a colony in Africa for formerly enslaved people gained traction for various reasons. For some, it was a philanthropic endeavor. They believed it offered a chance for Black people to escape racial prejudice. For others, the motivations were more complex, sometimes rooted in a desire to remove free Black individuals from American society. The American Colonization Society, or ACS, became the primary organization behind this effort. It played a pivotal role in the early stages of Liberia's formation. This society, established in 1816, brought together a diverse group of supporters, including politicians, religious leaders and slaveholders, each with their own perspectives on the future of Black people in America. The journey to found Liberia was filled with hope. It was also fraught with immense challenges. These pioneers were venturing into an unknown land. They faced the difficulties of a new environment and climate. They also had to navigate relationships with the indigenous populations already living there. The establishment of this new nation was an experiment, a bold attempt to create a haven and a republic. It was a testament to the resilience and determination of people yearning for a place to call their own, a place where their humanity would be fully recognized and their potential could be fully realized without the constant shadow of racial oppression. For many Black Americans in the 19th century, Africa represented more than just a distant continent. It symbolized a land of potential freedom and genuine opportunity. In the United States, even free Black individuals faced severe restrictions. They were denied basic civil rights such as the right to vote or serve on juries. They encountered widespread discrimination in employment, housing, and education. The constant threat of violence and re-enslavement loomed large, particularly in the southern states. This oppressive environment made the prospect of emigrating to Africa an attractive option for some, who despaired of ever achieving true equality in America. The belief that Africa offered better prospects was deeply rooted in the desire for self-determination. Many Black Americans yearned for a place where they could govern themselves. They wanted to create their own laws and institutions. They dreamed of building a society free from the pervasive racism that shaped their lives in the United States. The idea of returning to their ancestral homeland also held a powerful emotional appeal for some. It was seen as a way to reconnect with their heritage and escape the stigma attached to their race in America. Section 5. Dreams of Prosperity. Building a New Nation. The vision for Liberia extended beyond mere escape from oppression. It encompassed ambitious dreams of prosperity and national development. The settlers who journeyed to Africa believed that the continent offered fertile ground not only for freedom, but also for economic advancement. They envisioned creating a society where they could engage in agriculture, trade, and commerce without the racial barriers that hindered their progress in America. The fertile lands of West Africa seemed promising for cultivating crops like coffee, sugarcane, and palm oil, which could then be traded on international markets, bringing wealth and stability to the new colony. These Black Americans carried with them skills and knowledge acquired in the United States. Some were artisans, carpenters, and blacksmiths. Others had experience in farming or small businesses. They hoped to apply these skills to build a self-sufficient and thriving economy in Liberia. The idea was to create a nation that could stand on its own, independent and respected in the global community. They aimed to establish schools, churches, and other institutions that would support social and economic growth. The development of infrastructure, such as roads and ports, was also seen as crucial for unlocking the economic potential of their new homeland. Section 6. Africa's Pioneer Republic, A Singular Journey. Liberia holds a unique and distinguished position in African history. It is recognized as Africa's oldest republic. The nation officially declared its independence on July 26, 1847. This declaration came decades before most other African nations gained their freedom from European colonial powers. This early independence set Liberia apart. It allowed the country to chart its own course, free from direct foreign rule, during a period when much of the continent was being partitioned and colonized by European empires. This status as a pioneer republic gave Liberia a special significance. One of the most remarkable aspects of Liberia's history is its distinction of never having been subjected to formal colonial rule by a European power. While other African territories were carved up during the scramble for Africa in the late 19th century, Liberia managed to maintain its sovereignty. This was partly due to its unique origins and its close, albeit complex, relationship with the United States. The U.S. provided some level of informal protection, and European powers were perhaps more hesitant to encroach upon a nation founded by American citizens. This independence, however, was constantly under threat from British and French colonial expansion in neighboring regions. Section 7. Mirroring a model Liberia's governmental framework. When Liberia declared its independence in 1847, its leaders looked to a familiar model for crafting their new government. The influence of the United States Constitution on Liberia's own constitution is undeniable and quite striking. The founders of Liberia, having come from America, naturally drew upon the political traditions and structures they knew best. This resulted in a system of government that closely mirrored that of the United States. The Liberian Constitution established a republic with a clear separation of powers among three distinct branches: the executive, the legislative, and the judicial. This framework was intended to ensure checks and balances. The executive branch in Liberia was, and still is, headed by a president. The president is responsible for enforcing laws and administering the country, much like the U.S. president. The legislative branch tasked with making laws was designed as a bicameral legislature. This means it consists of two houses, a Senate, and a House of Representatives. This structure directly reflects the U.S. Congress. Members of both houses are elected by the people, representing different constituencies and ensuring a broad base of representation in the lawmaking process. The national flag of Liberia offers a clear visual testament to the country's unique origins and its historical ties to the United States. Adopted on August 24, 1847, shortly after the nation declared its independence, the Liberian flag bears a striking resemblance to the flag of the United States, often called the Stars and Stripes. This similarity is not coincidental. It was a deliberate choice made by the founders of Liberia, many of whom were born in America or had spent significant parts of their lives there. The flag serves as a constant reminder of the circumstances surrounding Liberia's creation and the aspirations of its early settlers. The Liberian flag features red and white stripes, just like the American flag. There are 11 stripes in total. These 11 stripes are said to symbolize the 11 signatories of the Liberian Declaration of Independence. The colors also carry meaning. The red stripes represent courage and valor, while the white stripes signify purity and cleanness of life. In the upper left canton, instead of multiple stars, the Liberian flag displays a single white star. This star is set against a blue square field. The blue field represents the continent of Africa, a land of promise and opportunity for the settlers. The single white star itself is particularly symbolic. It is said to represent Liberia as the first independent republic in Africa, founded by former slaves. Section 9. Conclusion. The unfolding saga of an American African nation. Liberia's journey, from its conception in the minds of the American Colonization Society members to its reality as Africa's oldest republic, is a compelling and deeply significant historical narrative. Founded by freed Black Americans seeking true liberty and self-determination, this West African nation stands as a unique testament to the enduring human spirit and the complex interplay of hope, struggle, and identity. Its establishment in the early 19th century, at a time when slavery was still entrenched in the United States and colonialism was beginning to cast its long shadow over Africa, marked Liberia as a bold and unprecedented experiment in nation-building. The influence of the United States on Liberia is undeniable, woven into the very fabric of its political institutions and national symbols. The Liberian Constitution, with its three branches of government and bicameral legislature, directly mirrors the American model. Its flag, with its stripes and single star, evokes the Stars and Stripes, visually narrating the story of its founders' origins. This American connection has shaped Liberia's path in profound ways, offering both a foundation for its republican ideals and at times, contributing to complex internal dynamics, particularly regarding the relationship between the Americo-Liberian descendants and the indigenous populations. Liberia's distinction as a nation that was never formally subjected to European colonial rule further distinguishes its history. This hard-won sovereignty, maintained through challenging geopolitical landscapes, allowed Liberia to serve as a symbol of black independence on a continent largely dominated by foreign powers. Its existence provided a beacon of hope for many Africans and people of African descent worldwide, demonstrating the potential for self-governance and the creation of a sovereign black state. The challenges it faced, both internal and external, only underscore the tenacity required to forge and maintain such a unique national identity. Today, as we look back on Liberia's rich and often tumultuous history, we see the enduring legacy of its founding principles and the ongoing story of its people. The bond between Liberia and the United States, though complex and multifaceted, remains a significant aspect of both nations' histories. Liberia's story is one of resilience, a continuous striving for the ideals of freedom and prosperity envisioned by its pioneers. It is a narrative that continues to unfold, reflecting the ongoing journey of a nation that is both uniquely African and inextricably linked to the American experience, a truly American-African saga.